All right, guys, and now we're going to do the compression test. I have the vacuum transducer on the vacuum on the port on the back of the engine. Had the 300 psi pressure transducer on cylinder 3, and I have the sink with the coil connected on that cylinder, and I have the exhaust transducer connected on the back. So before we start the test, I want to make sure that I zero this, so that should be good. Check the connections. Make sure that all channels are connected. I still got the crank um, signal, the crank sensor signal in there, no problem. All right, we're going to start the recording. Let me run the car. I had the fuel disconnected because I was doing the crankcase pressure. I will show the pictures of that. Let's run this car. All right, so let's let it run a little bit. And then let's just stop the capture. Now, perfect. And let's see what we see. Move a map that is my way in here. All right, let's get the pan hand so we can move this where we need it. Here where it looks more stable. Yeah, definitely crankcase pressures are a lot better. Let's take the sink off. We know the actual um, cylinder ignition is, it looks like it's a little bit advanced. Nothing wrong with that because that's, just what the computer is doing so that we can turn that one off. Let's set the cursors so we can start making some measurements. Very hard to put these cursors in place. That should be good enough. Compression is 97 psi with the engine running. Not so bad. Now I have another capture that I will save. I think it wasn't like 70. Well, actually, it says 81 psi. Yeah, that's what we have, not 90. 81 psi with the engine running. um, let's analyze the exhaust capture first because we can see some anomalies in there. Now let's put this into 6 cylinders and then let's go to mark. Change the timing to, 153624, and we're going to mark the source. Oh, before I do that, always remember which cylinder you are doing the sync. In this case, it's the 3. Now we know which each valve is correctly. Um, 153. So, hmm, not really too obvious. I was expecting to see more, but definitely we see something. See what we got. Not sure if this will be 1, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4, and then 1 again. Because if this is the case, this is in 3, and we're not seeing a hump. So we are actually that's I think that's the way it is. See how like we have perfectly right here on 5, but not on 3. It's definitely a problem on the exhaust valve here. Go, we got 6, 2, 4 a little low, 1 a little low, and it's very repetitive. Make sure I get the pan hand. We can see that anomaly here, a little low again in here, but yeah, definitely on 3. If we move the cursors, remember when you're doing this, you want to analyze in different spots on the capture, so we can get the cursors. So we get the cursors here, and let's analyze in a different. Uh, Again, very hard to work with these cursors on this thing. Really? Now I know why Bernie has so much struggle with this. Um, so let's mark the cylinders again. Everything should be the same. But yeah, we have, a hump in 1, a hump in 5, not a hump in 3, a hump in 6, a hump in 2, a low hump in 4, and then 1. We do have problems in 4. It looks like the exhaust valve in 4 is also having some issues. We can do, let me bring the intake up. Let me turn this one off and let's do a sum in the intake. I might have to let me mark now the intake. Not much to see here. Uh, hmm. Yeah, everything is connected. Maybe that port is not reaching perfectly. One thing we can do is process the data. Make sure that you deselect all the channels that you don't want to change. And we can zoom in a little bit on that. So let's add a multiplier on this channel. Let's do five times. Just to see it a little better. Let's zoom out to see what it is. Let's actually zoom out to full, and we can get the blue down. We might have to go do a little more, but let's see. Now we can then get the zoom window and get here, and this is where we are. Let's mark the cylinders again. Remember, this is an intake. Yes, nothing really. Let's do a little more zoom. So let's process the data, keep the same because this will apply another 5 to what you already did. So let's multiply again. Let's bring this down. It's coming down. See, now you can see, we can see a lot better. Um, hmm. All you want to see is the up and downs, the up and down. So let's say, up into this valve and down and then up. Disregard these movements. That all depends on the intake design. And this has a diesel valve, as you can see right there. So this might not be the perfect capture to see any anomalies. Yeah, anomalies. A little hard word for me to say. But yeah, definitely, I don't really see nothing except for here, right? Actually, a little bit of um, down pressure. Remember, up is high vacuum, low is low vacuum. So we definitely have low vacuum in number 3 as well. And it's probably because the exhaust valve is leaking. Remember, the intake cannot leak on intake. The only thing that can leak on intake is the exhaust valve, right? So it looks like we might have a problem with the valve sealing on number 3. Let's get out of here and now let's mark the cams. Let me zoom out. Let's get the pan hand. Let's get this some window. I want to see how the time is now. So yeah, the exhaust valve opening is a little too round. I don't like that. Let me zoom out to full so we can select that again because sometimes when you're doing the zoom like this, it affects the look of the entire thing. So now we're going to select just this in here and let's remark this. But yeah, we definitely have timing wise, it looks like it's around 30, so 30 to 60. It's nothing wrong with that. The intake valve looks okay. Um, we can see, we can grab the cursors up. No, that's not what I want to do. It should be nice to have a go back. Hey Bernie, if you're watching this, try to set up a go back so we don't have to zoom out completely like this. It would be nice to have that. All right, so one more time. So what I was trying to do is get the cursors, put this in a 0. Again, fighting with these cursors. Come on. So we can measure the lowest vacuum. It looks like -6, so around 12, 13 inches of mercury, right? So nothing wrong with that. 13, 14, not on the best way, but again, remember, this system is not a normal engine to compare to others. Um, we got 80, 81 psi. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of this, and let me bring this one back on. And I'm going to save this to compare to what we see. I'm going to now set it up in like a cylinder good. Let's say, cylinder 1, which is a known good cylinder, and then we can compare compressions and everything. I might want to do, well, let's keep with the running compression and see what we see. All right, guys, so I'll be right back. I'll move everything to cylinder 1, sync, everything is the same as far as the rest, and we zero the PSI. I have to go out, so I don't know any other way. If you guys know, well, I don't need to be doing that every time I change um, the transducer, please let me know, because I'm not that familiar with this oscilloscope. I really like it, and I want to try to use it more. I have this for a very long time, and I don't use it much because I like the Pico because I'm more familiar with it, but I want to use it for this video. All right, so let me run this car. I have to start a capture, right? That will be important. All right, so let's run the car. Now we're going to compare what we see here compared to the other. I took some pictures. All right. See what we see. Oop, stop it. Let's get the pen in hand. And let's get this some window. Again, the ignition is a little advanced or retarded, not advanced, retarded. Uh, Always remember, to the right is retarded, to the left is advanced. All right, so let's turn this off. We will be seeing the same things on the intake and exhaust. So with this one, I'm really interested is to see, at least for the beginning, what my compressions are and the timing on the intake and exhaust opening. Come on. Let me zoom in more. I can see better. This is really, oh, this is a piece of work to use these cursors. Zoom out to full. Looks very different with nothing in there, but let's use the pen hand to get here. Zoom out a little more. Some window. Let's select this one. I can turn this one off. And let's make sure I'm in a pen handle or cursors. Very hard to do this way. Now I have blood burning because this is very hard to do. Nothing compared to the Pico. Very, very hard to put, because I want to be, right I hope you guys can see the struggle to put that where I need it. I'm trying to leave it right in the center of the tower. It's pretty much impossible. All right, we can put 6 cylinders. This time it's in one. And actually, we don't really need to mark these ones, but let's even do this and just mark the cams. That's what I wanted to see. Um, yeah, I mean, timing for the intake valve is the same. Time for the, sorry, for the exhaust valve is around the same. Time for the intake valve closing is about the same. What is the peak compression? Definitely we see difference. You see, this is, we got 117. Maybe a little less than that. Let's move the other cursor to the 0 mark, because that will show me where we are. So 111, 112 plus or minus, right? And the other one is in 90. So that's 20 psi, 22 psi difference. Of course, that's going to create a misfire, and it changes. So the valve sealing is not properly, and we can definitely see that it is a compression valve, sorry, an exhaust valve. The one is not sealing properly. I think this is enough, guys, to give a correct diagnostics on this engine. This is definitely not going to be repaired with coils and plugs or anything you want to do. The problem is in the cylinder, on the valves, not on the cylinder head, because I will put the capture of the crankcase pressures. I don't see any anomalies in there. Everything looks, all the pulses. It's definitely some blow by on all the cylinders, but that's across the board. So that will not affect just the one cylinder. And we might have another problem on cylinder 2, which I think I was on in cylinder 4 as well, not sealing properly. But I don't want to spend more time. I don't want to spend much longer for this and for the customer's diagnostic money, because this is definitely the cylinder head that's going to have to come out and then machine exhaust valve issues. All right, guys, hopefully you guys like this video. I'm trying to take my time to use all the tools and get familiar, because I mean, this is a great tool. You don't need to have the resolution of Pico for doing all this. And I know the most I use it, the better I will get with this oscilloscope. I do love all the software that nobody else offers. Like, let's say if I want to bring the exhaust pulses up and mark the cylinders, I can mark the exhaust. Again, we got everything we need to, oh, actually we need to change the time firing order to the correct one. And then when we mark this one, now we have correct uh, pulses of here. So we can see the, in this case is, I think, see, let me see. So 1, 5, 3, 6, 2, 4. So 2, 4, 1, 5, 3. Am I in the correct one? Because we were not seeing this before. You see, and this is what is nice sometimes to, to use the software, because you want to make sure that you're giving the right recommendations. Like in this case, we can see that we got a little low exhaust pulses, but we can see the 3, which is firing, is not giving us the correct pulsation. We can see it right here. You see how it's like it went up and nothing happens. You see right in 3, nothing is happening. But 3 is firing, so 3 should be having a hump like the rest, and it's not happening. So definitely exhaust valves not sealing properly. Again, guys, thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye bye.